Welcome back to AOH Primetime as we continue our effort here at WAOH Television to put the spotlight on those in the community working to make Akron and Summit County a better place. And of course, no better place to start than the work being done at Summit County Juvenile Court and the work done by CASA and Guardian Ad Litem. And we have right now Sarah Harvan, and you are responsible for training court-appointed special advocates, those who volunteer to help as children need to navigate the court system caught up in cases of abuse and neglect. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah.
And explain, as people sign up to volunteer and then they go through training, they get to see you and you get to explain to them how to help kids that are caught up in the system and need an advocate or a voice in court. Tell me about your work in training these volunteers.
Absolutely, and thanks for having us. The training portion sometimes can seem a little intimidating. It is a 30-hour training, but when you think about all of the details and specifics that go into this role, 30 hours almost sometimes doesn't feel enough. And so we do have ongoing training beyond that initial pre-service training, but folks who are interested in speaking up for children and advocating for kids involved in the juvenile court, start with an application. It's a simple application to submit, and then they come in for an interview with myself to get to know that individual a little bit more, find out why do they want to become a CASA volunteer. That also gives us an opportunity to answer some frequently asked questions about the program and look at the timeline for the time commitment and what some of those next steps are.
You know, it's always good to look into something, say, is this for me?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe there's people that have looked into it and said, now that I understand what this is, maybe it's not a fit, but this is a great way to volunteer, to make a difference for families. And I would imagine probably extremely rewarding once you get into the work.
Absolutely. And oftentimes the volunteers that are incoming that I meet with say, I've heard about this before, but it wasn't the right time, or I knew it, but my job wasn't as flexible then, or I had other family commitments. So it's oftentimes kind of a reoccurring piece that they've learned about. And so then they finally take the next step to apply and get started. So oftentimes the folks that I'm meeting with have a little bit of a base understanding, or maybe they themselves had, experience as a child with a guardian ad litem, or have done other volunteer work or were foster parents in the past. So sometimes people have a little bit of a foundation already, and sometimes it's, starting at square one.
Which would be, you don't have to be a social worker, have a degree, or you don't have to be a lawyer.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. We do have students oftentimes volunteering as they're sort of building up their experience for their future careers. We also have working individuals, those who are retired. So it really is kind of a diverse group of volunteers who have discussions together. We work through example case studies. The training also has outside presenters come in to focus on their area of specialty, observe and shadow a court hearing. So it's really kind of a blended style training to address the different learning styles and also provide opportunities of real life, of what this is going to look like when you do take the oath and become a court-appointed special advocate. So it gives them an opportunity to work through some examples before they're doing the real thing.
And in terms of 30 hours is not enough, you might have a law degree by the time you're done. You probably have to train how to speak in court, what the court procedures are, and who's who, and the roles of this person and that person, and that can be complicated.
Absolutely. And I'll say personally, I did not expect to work at a courthouse for my career. That was not the direction I thought I was going, but I became a CASA volunteer when I was in graduate school. And, definitely learning the legalese as you go and continuing education is really helpful because even though I've had experience doing this, you continue to learn new things every day.
Sarah Harvan has been our guest here from Summit County Juvenile Court, talking about CASA, court-appointed special advocates. And if any of us anyone watching feels moved to get more information, where can they find more information about volunteering with CASA?
Well, the main way would be visiting our website. There's more information on there, which is summitcasagal.org. And I would also encourage viewers to follow us on social media. We have a pretty big presence on Facebook and Instagram, as well as LinkedIn, sharing events that we have coming up in the community, fundraisers that the CASA board is hosting, as well as a book club that we have for the community to participate in. So there's a lot on social media as well, in addition to our website.
I'm sure part of the training is certainly protecting all the privacy that goes on. You become an advocate for a child, and none of that goes on social media.
Correct.
That is, all of the social media is about what your agency is doing, what your volunteers are doing in terms of training and learning and events, of course.
Absolutely.
It's wonderful. If you want to make a difference in the community, take a look at the CASA program and any opportunity to volunteer. Learn about what they do to serve families in need and kids that are caught up in cases of abuse and neglect here in Summit County. What a great way to look at considering making a difference in our community and in kids' lives. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for watching here on AOH Primetime. Of course, throughout the WAOH broadcast day, there's always a lot more coming up. Stay with us, and thanks for watching.